I'm muted. I'll try again. I'll start. Good start, Grant. That was whack. Anyway, thanks for coming. Usually Wednesday morning is the Cohn phone, but we got big breaking news today. So instead of taking your calls, we're all going to talk about Matthew Stafford. Let's just talk about Stafford. I'll move the Cohn phone to Saturday. And I think Saturday's a better day for that anyway, because so many of you guys are at work anyway, and you're like sneaking out to the bathroom to talk. So let's just do it on Saturdays from now on, if that's cool with you. All right. So let's talk about, Cohn phone Saturday mornings from now on, because Botan has now been promoted to Monday mornings. Big promotion for Botan. So now let's talk about Matthew Stafford, my report. I have two things I want to say, and then I'll answer all your questions. And what I'm not going to answer is, who is my source? All right. Journalists don't answer that question. If you say who your source is, you never have sources again. It's not ethical. So that's not a fair question. Whatever else you want to ask, go for it. So let me start off with what I know. All right. So according to a source extremely close to the situation, I'm talking extremely close. Like, if this is the situation, this is the source. Okay. That's how close. Says that while nothing's done or being finalized, even, that the Niners seem to have the inside track, seem to be the favorites to land Matthew Stafford. That is what I know. I don't know what they're prepared to trade. I don't know what the Lions want, but that's what I know. And that's solid. So what are the implications? Well, it seems to me that Stafford thinks, or I don't know what Stafford thinks. It seems to me that Stafford could look at the Niners and say, they're a quarterback away. They just need a quarterback. You put me in that system, they win a Super Bowl. So that's the draw. I mean, that's why the Niners have the inside edge, because they have the 12th pick in the draft, which is high. They're a team that shouldn't be picking that high. They're picking that high because Jimmy Garoppolo was hurt. And they have a terrific team, a terrific coaching staff, a terrific supporting cast for a quarterback, minus the offensive line. I don't know if Stafford knows about that, but I don't know if Stafford really is aware about Mike McGlinchey, but he'll find out eventually. The other thing, though, is he doesn't know what his options are yet. He may see the Niners as being very aggressive and serious, but then think about it from his perspective. Things can happen. What if Houston trade Deshaun Watson anywhere, and Houston needs a quarterback? Well, Stafford's from Texas, so it'd be nice to go home, A, and B, there's no state income taxes in Texas. So his contract would pay him more money on the Texans than on the Niners. So that's not an option now. You know, if the Dallas job became open, if the Houston job became open, Stafford might become conflicted. I'm just guessing. He's from Texas, and that's how all players think in terms of the tax-free state. That's how I would think. He'd get to keep, 13% more of his money in Houston, but still, you go to Houston, you may not win. You may be just going from Detroit, north to Detroit south and just earning more money. You go to the Niners, you might win a Super Bowl. So that seems to be what could be going on in Matthew Stafford's mind. But the relevant information is that, according to a source extremely close to the situation, might as well be the situation. Niners are the favorites, which is interesting because in Vegas, I think Indianapolis is the favorites. It's the Niners. The Niners they have the inside track, but that's an interesting way of putting it. It's like the race hasn't been run yet. They may have the best spot before the race, but we'll see what happens. One more thing I want to say about this deal is, hold on, someone asked a question. Let me get to that first. The King James L said, don't you think it would be smart to still draft a Trey Lance even if they get Stafford? No one has mentioned Stafford and his back injury, etc. Yeah, they definitely need to get a backup quarterback, but not Trey Lance. I was looking at Trey Lance. he doesn't look good. To me, Trey Lance, I compared him on Twitter. I said he's Tim Tebow with a faster 40 time. And that means he's Taysom Hill, basically. He's fast. He's a hell of a runner. I don't really like the way he throws. He stands straight up, and then he does a squat, and then he like leaps forward and has a really wide base. I don't like his throwing mechanics. And he's such an inexperienced passer. When you really watch the coaching film, it's clear that he's not seeing the field. He's not even reading anything. He's just picking out a player pre-snap and throwing to him, and it works a lot because all of his players are wide open. Some quarterback, maybe Jamie Newman, maybe Kellen Mond, maybe Kyle Trask, not Trey Lance. And I don't think you take a quarterback in round one. You're not going to have that first round pick anymore. I don't think if you trade for Stafford, because it's going to cost a first round pick. That's what you need. I think it's probably going to cost a first round pick. I don't think the Lions would want Jimmy Garoppolo in the trade. I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo want to go there. Remember, he has a no trade clause. Is he going to want to go to Detroit? No. Is he going to waive it for Detroit? Probably not. Why would he want to go to that rebuilding team? And why would that rebuilding team want him in his contract? I'm sure they'd rather have a guy like Trey Lance. I think what Detroit's planning on doing is taking their pick in round one, number 7, the Niners pick in round 1, number 12, packaging together, moving up and getting, Zach Wilson. That would be a plan. So that seems to be what's going on here. That's what I know. Now let me tell you what I think, and then I'll answer some questions. Here's what I think. I think this is a really great opportunity for the Niners in the sense that Matthew Stafford would be a big upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. I do think he'd be a big upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo. Even though Garoppolo has an excellent winning percentage, he, quote unquote, took the team to the Super Bowl. He was on the team. He was the quarterback of a team that went to a Super Bowl. Stafford's never won a playoff game. I still think Stafford's a big upgrade. I still think he's a supremely gifted, physically gifted quarterback. And really in ways that Jimmy isn't. Stronger arm, better arm, more accurate, more mobile, more durable, better. Not elite, not in the Andrew Luck, Ben Roethlisberger Hall of Fame. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer. But on the Niners, he'll be the best quarterback they've had in a very long time. So I can see why the Niners are interested, and it seems like it's an easy deal. Like, he wants out. The Lions have agreed. There's no dance to do. Just call up, make the best offer, and be done with it. And from what I'm hearing, the Niners seem to have the best offer if they're willing to make it. So the only thing is the Aaron Rodgers situation. Aaron Rodgers may not be back with the Packers next year. He hasn't officially asked for a trade. It's not there yet like it is with Stafford, but Adam Schefter seems pretty into the idea that it could happen. And he even went so far as to name 2 teams, because he said basically that Aaron Rodgers, if it happens, will pick his destination. Not only will he say, I want to leave, but he's going to say where he wants to go. And Schefter named 2 teams, the Niners and the Rams. It seems to me that you have a plan to get Matthew Stafford. It's a good plan. It's a hell of a plan. And then this falls in your lap. How do you brush this aside and just still go full bore into Matthew Stafford? How do you do that? I don't know. Because look, he named 2 teams, the Niners and the Rams. You're one of them. Rodgers is better than Stafford. Rodgers is older than Stafford, but Rodgers is better than Stafford. And you win the Super Bowl with Rodgers. Who knows if you win the Super Bowl with Stafford? But again, say you feel like, well, we'd rather have Stafford. He's younger. He might be a little bit cheaper after we give the extension to Aaron Rodgers. Who knows? Yeah, but what happens if you don't have Rodgers? Then he goes to the other team that Schefter mentioned, the Rams. So now you don't have Aaron Rodgers, but he's in your division. He's playing for the Rams. Now, I don't know exactly how the Rams would get him, but again, if Rodgers names his destination, it's all details after that. If he says, I need to play for the Rams, I'm going to the Rams, he'll go to the Rams. So now you told yourself, we didn't want Aaron Rodgers. We didn't want Tom Brady. We didn't want Patrick Mahomes. I'm passing on Aaron Rodgers now to get Matthew Stafford. I like Matthew Stafford. He's a really good quarterback, but come on. So I think the Niners, while they clearly it seems like they're in the lead and they're the favorites and they could probably have him if they want him, should at least be looking around like, you got that one. That's in the bag. You don't need to leave the bar just yet. You can linger. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to leave the bar. You got the number. Just chill. Just chill. Wait until like 1:30. You don't got to go right now. It's 10:30. Okay, you just got here. You barely had a drink. You got the first number you got. Okay, it's a good number. It's a nice area code. It looks promising. But just chill. It'd be like, hey, I'm going to hit you up in a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk to you, but I'm going to go sit over here by myself. That's all I'm saying. Because if you don't go home with Aaron Rodgers, the Rams will. And do you really see? I mean, if the Rams get Rodgers, the Niners get Stafford, who's the favorites in this division next year? The Rams. So all I'm saying is, at least make sure the Rams don't get that. At least make sure that Rodgers stays put in Green Bay. So here's what's interesting. I'm not saying the Niners have to wait and potentially miss on Stafford just to see what's going on with Rodgers, but they should be on the phone with Rodgers' agent trying to figure out what it would take. And what they can do is they can agree in principle to a trade with Detroit for Matthew Stafford. They can do that. Nothing can be finalized and made official until the league year starts around March 17th. So the Niners and Detroit can say, yeah, we'll do it. I'm going to send you these picks. You're going to send us Matthew Stafford. Let's shake on it, through the phone on Zoom. And we agree. At any point before the league year starts, the Niners can renege on the agreement, have buyer's remorse, change their mind. Oh, actually, we don't want to do this anymore. We're going to go get Aaron Rodgers. That's totally within their rights. So that might be what they want to do. Lock this up, announce, agree, promise, pinky swear that you're going to trade for Matthew Stafford. And then if Aaron Rodgers becomes available before March 17th, great. Problem is, if Aaron Rodgers becomes available after, say, June 1, and the Niners are locked into Stafford, and the Rams aren't locked into Goff, now you are mad that you went home that you took the number at 10:30 and didn't wait a little longer. So I'm saying it's great to upgrade, but is upgrading to Stafford enough? If one team in the NFC in Florida has Brady and one team in LA has Rodgers, is Stafford enough? I don't know. I would be a little leery. I'm just saying I would want Rodgers, right? It seems to me that if Rodgers and Deshaun Watson are on the market and potentially changing teams, those guys are so good that they could make teams instant Super Bowl contenders / favorites next year. So having Stafford is great, but it doesn't guarantee you what you thought it did. Like coming off of 2019, you'd think, man, if the Niners just had Stafford, they'd be instant favorites. Well, what if Deshaun Watson goes to a team in the NFC? What if Deshaun Watson somehow goes to some? I don't have a team. I don't know. I'm just saying. So if all these quarterbacks are out there, it's like musical chairs. Half the teams in the league are going to have new quarterbacks. In a normal year, Stafford would be the best you could do. But this year, he's like number 3 or 4 of the best quarterbacks available. And it seems like the Niners are a real draw. Like quarterbacks want to play for Kyle Shanahan. It seems like it. Deshaun Watson might want to play for Kyle Shanahan. Aaron Rodgers might want to play for Kyle Shanahan. If you're going to give up 2 firsts or something for Stafford, I don't know. Maybe you could just give up a little more to get someone who's truly elite. Okay, so those are my thoughts on the Niners pursuing Matthew Stafford. I don't think they're going to listen to me. I think they're going to end up getting Matthew Stafford. That's my best guess, is they're going to get Stafford. Unless Stafford, decides he'd rather go home and play for Houston in that organization. But that's the only way I see him not coming to the Niners. I think the Niners would pick Stafford over Aaron Rodgers. I've talked about it all week. I think Stafford is Shanahan's kind of quarterback. Physically gifted, big and strong, pocket quarterback, quiet. Takes orders. Not a celebrity. Rodgers is a celebrity. Rodgers is also a coach. He wants to control the team. I don't think that's Kyle Shanahan's kind of guy. So I think Stafford makes perfect sense. I think Shanahan's probably been wanting to coach Stafford a long, long time. And now that he has his opportunity, he's going to go for it. It's also convenient. He doesn't have to admit he's wrong. He didn't have to admit he's wrong about passing on Deshaun Watson. by now overcorrecting and offering a million picks for Watson. No, I didn't draft Watson, didn't draft Mahomes, didn't bring in Brady. I had a plan. It all worked out. I got my guy, Matthew Stafford, only 32. That's what I think. I think it makes sense. All right, let's take some questions. Grant, could the Niners pull off a trade of the 12th pick and Jalen Hurd for Matthew Stafford? P.S. I don't see Rodgers leaving Green Bay this year. Interesting. Does Jalen Hurd have trade value right now? He was a third-round pick. He's missed his 2 first seasons in the NFL. I think Jalen Hurd has more value in 49ers fans' hearts than around the NFL. He's damaged goods around the NFL. In Niners Nation, he's the MVP of the team. He's the best wide receiver on the team, the most intriguing youngster. He's going to win the Comeback Player of the Year award next year. Nah, I don't think you don't trade Jalen Hurd now. That would be trading him at no value because he doesn't have value. If he had a Jason Verrett type year next year, then you could trade him. Then you would have value. Same with Deebo Samuel. You wouldn't trade Deebo Samuel now. That's the tough thing about trades. Football's emotional. You want to trade a guy coming off a good year. So if Deebo Samuel goes for 1,400 yards next year, that's when you trade him. But would you want to trade Deebo Samuel after you just bought 8 of his jerseys and named your, firstborn Deebo because of how great his 2021 season was? It's tough. So no, you can't trade Hurd. People that you'd be trading now are people coming off great years. So Mike McGlinchey. You probably get 2 firsts and a third for Mike McGlinchey right now because the highlight reel was just so nice. Alex, good question. Next one. It's from Raheem Mostert, I believe. Let's see. Martin, what's up with people wanting Jimmy over Stafford? Who wants Jimmy over Stafford? I did see Eric Davis tweet, Jimmy took the Niners to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. So I'm not sure he's saying that he wants Jimmy over Stafford. He's just saying. And when Eric Davis just says stuff, I listen because he's probably the smartest football analyst out there. I mean, certainly talking about the Niners, he's just great. So his point, I'm guessing, and I don't want to speak for him, is how big of an upgrade is Matthew Stafford over Jimmy Garoppolo really? I think we can agree he's an upgrade over Jimmy, but how big of an upgrade is this guy over Jimmy really? To shake up the locker room, shake up the team, maybe upset certain friends of Jimmy Garoppolo and go to a guy who's never, say what you want about Detroit holding him back. He's not battle tested in the playoffs. He's played 3 games, won none of them. I'm not saying he can't win the playoffs. It's just kind of new territory for him. Now, Jimmy's only played 3 games in the playoffs, but look, I would do the deal for Stafford. If the question is Stafford or Jimmy, I would go Stafford. I would take the leap of faith and project that his skill set in this offense with that coach would be a better offense than what I've seen I've seen it look like with Jimmy Garoppolo on the field. I can pretty confidently say that. So I don't want to speak for Eric Davis. I'd love to hear what he has to say if he does think Jimmy would be better. But again, I think they save money getting Stafford. The problem with Stafford is the picks. If you have to give up 2 first-round picks, that's rich. Even 1. The 12th pick in the draft for someone who turns 33. Oof, it's a lot. A guy who's not a future Hall of Famer. A guy who's, probably not even as good as Matt Ryan. Younger, stronger arm, more physically gifted. But there's something about Matt Stafford. It's kind of like, that movie. There's something about Mary. Yeah, there's something about Matthew Stafford that prevents him from being as good as Watson, Rodgers, Wilson, Ryan, Brady. He's in that other tier. Like, he's like a super Kirk Cousins. A super duper Kirk Cousins. Bigger, stronger arm, little bit, maybe not more mobile. But same kind of, what is the deal? Like, is it your fault? Shouldn't you be able to do a little bit better? Better than Jared Goff, though. I mean, way better than Jared Goff. Better than Jimmy Garoppolo. All right, more questions. More questions. This was from Sebastian at 121. Hold on, Sebastian. A lot of questions coming in. Have you seen Amari Rodgers? He would be a great number 3 and slot wide receiver. He could punt return, something we need unless you want River Craycraft returning. I haven't watched much Amari Rodgers yet. I'll watch him. I'm always open to drafting a wide receiver in the mid-second round or basically from pick 50 to pick 75. I'm cool with that. Do it every year because I don't like the idea of re-signing wide receivers. Draft them, use them, let them go. Let some other team pay all that money for a guy who's going to pull his hamstring. I don't want that. Like, I wouldn't give Deebo Samuel a second contract. It's what Pittsburgh does. So, yeah, if the Niners can trade down and get some extra picks and get in that area right there, take another wide receiver. Take a wide receiver every year in that area, regardless of need. You just got to trade down to get that or whatever. You just got to get in that little area. That's my philosophy. And I think it's basically, if I were an NFL GM, my philosophy with wide receivers would be do what Pittsburgh does. Do what Pittsburgh does. Draft one every year between picks 50 and 75. Never re-sign them. Ever. Let Juju Smith-Schuster go. Just keep drafting them because they're really good. They step in right away. They're ready to go. Also, the other point is the quarterback makes the wide receiver to a large extent. You know, does Pittsburgh have great wide receivers, or is Ben Roethlisberger a Hall of Fame quarterback? Was Mike Wallace great, or was Ben Roethlisberger great? If you have a great quarterback, you don't need to be drafting wide receivers in round 1. And the guys you get in late round 2, early round 3, probably going to be really good too, if you have the quarterback. So if the Niners have Stafford, yeah, sure. Good question. All right. Let's see what else we got. The next question is from Anthony. Let me find you, Anthony. Questions are coming in real fast, so it's like I'm trying. Hold on. You're at 11:24. Okay, boom. How does Santa Clara acquiring Stafford affect Santa Clara? I love that. How does Santa Clara acquiring Stafford affect Jimmy's roster value? Do the Niners just cut Jimmy? What does getting Stafford do to the locker room? I'm just guessing here. Let me just put out a bunch of assumptions. I think everyone knew that Jimmy Garoppolo was on the trade block. I think everyone knew that the Niners didn't want him. I think his roster values probably depended on the team. I think his roster values higher on New England and any team that probably has a guy who was around Jimmy Garoppolo in New England. Pre-ACL Jimmy. Anyone who knows pre-ACL Jimmy might still like him. Post-ACL Jimmy, I don't like. I don't want that guy. He's rich. He's brittle. He's a statue. He can't move. He has no arm strength. He's just not good. Pre-ACL Jimmy was a pretty good quarterback. But I think maybe New England feels they can rehabilitate him. They can put him in a better system, have him play with more confidence. I still think the Niners trade Jimmy Garoppolo to New England for a second-round pick maybe next year, maybe this year. The rumors were that they could have traded him to New England last year for a first, and they didn't. So will New England 100% change their opinion of Jimmy Garoppolo after a couple high ankle sprains behind an atrocious offensive line? No, I don't think so. So I still think he has trade value to New England. They have cap space. They can trade for him, and they can give Jimmy Garoppolo the extension that the Niners were unwilling to give him. Jimmy would be affordable right now if the Niners would just extend his contract. Here's a 4-year extension. You're our guy. Your cap number this year will be nothing. It'll be like $6 million. Next year it'll be like 13. You'll be super cheap, and we'll backload it. And then when it gets expensive again, we'll extend you again. But they didn't do that because they don't want him. They want to move him. So New England can do that. I still think the Niners can trade Jimmy Garoppolo, maybe get a late 2, use it on a wide receiver. You know, good question. All right, next one. Next one's coming from David Trinidad. Let me find you, David. Boom. Between Stafford, Watson, and Jimmy G, who throws the most beautiful spirals? Stafford. Stafford, in terms of like arm talent, like it's in no particular order, the quarterbacks who have absolute freaking hoses. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, and Jacob Eason, the backup in Indy. That guy is a hose. Okay. Just straight up in terms of arm strength, how far you can throw it, how hard you can throw it, how quickly you can make that ball spin. Those four have the like bionic cannon arms. So yeah, if the Niners were to get Stafford, they'd have a guy who could throw the ball like 75 yards through the air. They'd have a guy who could hit that throw to Emmanuel Sanders deep down the middle for the touchdown. And it's interesting. The Niners for such a long time have only had quarterbacks who could hit the throw deep down the middle. They haven't had the guy who could throw the 9 route because that's a further throw. It's a farther throw. Instead of 40 yards down the middle of the field, it's the hypotenuse of the triangle. And anyone who knows math knows, A squared plus B squared. We're talking C squared here. We're talking C squared. So that's what that throw is. I mean, Jimmy can't throw that. He doesn't even try the C squared throw. Matthew Stafford does. So it opened up, all of a sudden, Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel would go from being running backs to actual wide receivers. It would be crazy. It would be amazing. That being said, who throws the most beautiful spirals isn't the only criteria of what makes a quarterback great. Because if it were, Stafford would be the best of his generation. Jay Cutler would have been the best. Jeff George would have been the best. Now, Stafford's better than those guys. But there is something about Stafford, and I don't really know what it is. Honestly, I don't watch the Detroit Lions that much. I don't. So I'm going to have to start digging in and figure out, what is it about him that prevents him from Is it just Detroit? Is it because I feel like a quarterback like Andrew Luck could have won playoff games on any team. There are quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, that you figure you just win playoff games on any team, any franchise, the Browns, the Jaguars, the Detroit, doesn't matter. So Stafford's not that guy. There's not that many guys like that, but Stafford's not that guy. Why? Anyone has any ideas? Let me know. Next question's coming from Dwayne. Let me find you. I'm looking for you, Dwayne. There you, no, it's from Sean? Hold on. I guess it's from Sean and then Dwayne. Wouldn't Prescott make more sense if he's unrestricted? Why trade a bunch of picks away if you can just sign someone off free agency? That's a good point. I think most people would say they don't expect him to hit unrestricted free agency. But he might. I guess it's just like, do you pass up the Matthew Stafford opportunity to waiting around and see what happens with Dak Prescott? Maybe. Because it seems to me that Dak Prescott would be just as expensive, or Stafford would be just as expensive as Prescott. Stafford's in his prime. So, yeah, I don't know. You're not saving money. You're going to have to give. They could trade for Stafford and not give him a new deal. Not extend it. If they extend the deal, the deal's going to be comparable to what Dak Prescott gets. And you lost your first round pick. Only thing is, I guess Dallas could franchise tag him again. And then you have to trade 2 firsts for him. And then, yeah, I guess it's just much more complicated. Plus, he's coming off a broken leg. Stafford is already available. I guess it's the bird in the hand principle. Could you wait around and see what happens with Dak? Yes. Could you wait around and see what happens with Aaron Rodgers? Yes. Could you pounce on Matthew Stafford right now? Yes. I think maybe you do that. And then if something happens with Dak, you renege. As I mentioned earlier, something happens with Aaron Rodgers, freaking renege. Hey, Detroit, remember that agreement we had? It's off. Sorry. Oh, you're mad at us? Okay. Oh, you don't want to do business with us anymore? Okay. Sorry. We're going to ride off in the sunset with Aaron Rodgers or Deshaun Watson or Dak Prescott. Sorry. Sorry, Dan Campbell. Bud. Pal. Sport. Sorry, you're unhappy. So that's what you can do. Get Stafford. Anything gets crazy in Dallas or Houston, Green Bay, be on that. And then tell Detroit, sorry. Sorry, not sorry. That's how Kyle Shanahan would say it, right? No, he doesn't talk like that. That's just how I talk, apparently. Jason, what's up? Dallas will tag Dak. Yeah, that's the thing. If he were an unrestricted free agent, yeah. Although the other thing about that is It seems like these not mega quarterbacks, but really good Pro Bowl quarterbacks who hit unrestricted free agency get these like fully guaranteed contracts, which are tough to move and not exactly what the Niners do. I mean, the Niners aren't only about that fully guaranteed life. They ain't about that life. So I don't know. Again, I think the Matthew Stafford thing just makes more sense from the Niners perspective. From the Niners perspective, though. Hold on. D, where you at, D? D. Dwayne M. Hold on, 11:30. I'm going to find you. You're my boy, D. D, you're my boy. If Stafford gets traded here, does he get extended? What's that deal look like? That's a good question. Would the Niners extend Matthew Stafford? Well, let's go through the pros and cons. If they don't extend him, he might not want to be extended here. He may not want to play long-term in Santa Clara. He's from the South. He might just want to come here for a couple of years, win a Super Bowl while the Niners develop Jamie Newman. So there's for both sides, they might say, you know what? Let's keep this short term. Or the Niners say, no, we just traded 2 firsts for you. You're Kyle Shanahan's quarterback. If Shanahan fails, it's going to be with you. So here's a 5-year deal. I think it's a big-time deal. I mean, he's never won an MVP. He wouldn't get the Deshaun Watson $40 million a year thing, but he would probably end up getting something like Jimmy was getting $27 million a year. Stafford ended up getting 30. It would be backloaded, though. You give him a signing bonus. I don't think the money would really be a problem. If you gave him a 5-year deal, you would give him a signing bonus, a huge one, and that would, be prorated over the length of the contract, and you could bring his cap numbers down in the short term. And then when he gets expensive down the line, you can do it again. Kind of like refinancing a mortgage, I guess. I don't have a mortgage. What am I talking about? I have a 1-bedroom apartment. So I wouldn't really understand how that works. But anyway, there are ways to make it work. What would the Niners rather do? I don't know. Seems to me if they're trading their first-round pick for Matthew Stafford, the plan isn't to also draft a guy and groom him and replace him. I mean, who? Who are you getting? If you could trade for Matthew Stafford and keep the number 12 pick, maybe that's the plan, to hedge your bets. But would Matthew Stafford want to come to a team that is instantly hedging its bets and drafting a quarterback and not drafting like a right tackle to help him? Because Stafford may not know it now, but Matthew, if you're watching, the Niners have a terrible offensive line. And they're going to tell you it's not that bad, that it's all Nick Mullins' fault, and CJ Beathard's fault, and Jimmy Garoppolo's fault. Look, as someone who cares about your well-being, I'm telling you, don't fall for that. If you come to the Niners, you're going to have to say like, yo, like this, yo, what's up with that right tackle though? Because I ain't playing behind Mike McGlinchey. Not today, not no way, not no how. You hold the cards, Matthew. Also, do you want to be called Matthew? Is that what you, Matthew, not Matt? I'm just wondering. I've never met someone who actually went by Matthew. Matthew. Hello, my name is Matthew. It's a good name. Strong. My name is Matthew. It's kind of like a Batman name. Hold on. Dwayne. So who's next? Justin. Let me find you, Justin. Matthew. My name is Matthew. Hold on. Not Matt. It is Matthew. Is that a religious thing? I don't know. Hold on. I'm looking. Justin, why wouldn't we just go for Mariota? Good question. That's a good question. I don't know, man. Mariota's great. He's Stafford. Who would you rather have, Stafford or Mariota? Mariota runs around the way he runs, man. I love that. He's just all over the place. How much better do you think Stafford makes SF? Significantly better. Only thing is, are they going to win the division if the Rams get Rodgers? That's the only question I got. What gender do I identify as? Good question. I'm a man. I'm 33. I'm a man. Hold on. Ooh. You know what, scarred moment? That's not nice. I'm going to ban you eventually, but you can keep paying me money, I guess. Hold on. Would Detroit do Stafford in number 7 for Bosa and Garoppolo? Would Niners? Real quick, Dominic, I'm trying to think about it I'm trying to put it this way. I don't know, but why would Detroit want Garoppolo? They're rebuilding. They don't want to spend money on a quarterback when they're going to lose. And then why would Jimmy want to go to Detroit? He has a no trade clause. He would have to waive it. Otherwise, the Niners have to cut him. So if I were Jimmy Garoppolo and the Niners said, hey, we got this great deal sending you to Detroit, I would say, no, you're not. No, I'm not going to Detroit. Look, I love Martin. I watch that show all the time, but I'm not going to Detroit. It's not going to happen. I'm going to live vicariously through Martin to get my Detroit experience. Martin and Elmore Leonard. That is all the Detroit I need. I'm not going there. No. So you cut me or you trade me back to New England, period. End of story. Bosa, on the other hand. Anyone would love Bosa. But I don't think I would trade Bosa for Stafford. I mean, that's rich. I wouldn't do that. Hold on. I got so many questions. So little time. So wait. Next one is from Chewy. No, Chewy, I appreciate it. No, definitely next one's from Chewy. Hold on, let me get Chewy. And then Devin. Bear with me, Chewy. Okay. What's Stafford's ceiling with Kyle better than the Ryan MVP season? If Matthew Stafford has a better season than Matt Ryan had in that season, it'll only be because of the supporting cast. Look, Matt Stafford is good, but this guy's played with Calvin Johnson before. Like it's not like he's never had weapons. I don't think he's as good as Matt Ryan. He's younger than Matt Ryan, but I don't think he's as good as Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan just has a better feel for how to play football than Matthew Stafford. Maybe not as gifted, but just a better player. So I don't know. I think the ceiling would still be an MVP season and a Super Bowl, but I don't know that. I think Matt Ryan had one of the best seasons ever under Kyle Shanahan. I don't know if Stafford can get there, but who cares? If he wins an MVP and plays well in his own right and wins a Super Bowl, it doesn't really matter if he was better than Matt Ryan. I guess my point here is that Matt Ryan's underrated. Matt Ryan is a future Hall of Fame quarterback, in my opinion, and is going to finish his career as the third leading passer in NFL history. So when people thought Jimmy Garoppolo was going to be that this year, it's like, you guys don't know Matt Ryan very well, I don't think. Anyway, Matthew Stafford, excellent. Could be just a hair below that. Good question. Next one's from Devin. Let me find you, Devin. How do we keep Stafford upright if we do get him? I think that's the $1 million question. Everyone talking about Niners just a quarterback away. No. Maybe the 2019 Niners were. But Mike McGlinchey is like 40 pounds lighter than then. He's not, you hear people say so-and-so's eating himself out of the league. Mike McGlinchey is not eating himself out of the league. He's fasting himself out of the league. He's dieting himself out of the league. I don't know what's going on there. And that's might be the second best offensive lineman on the unit. Honestly, Laken Tomlinson is so freaking overrated. No one talks about him because everyone's talking about Mike McGlinchey, but Laken Tomlinson's inside getting worked as well. And he's probably the third best offensive lineman on the unit because I don't even know who the other two starters are, center and right guard. Brunskill's okay. He doesn't have a position because the Niners haven't let him develop at one. To me, Justin School and Mike McGlinchey are not playable. Both of them are like 285 pounds. I don't know whose idea it was in the Niners to have 285-pound offensive tackles, but it ain't working. Justin School and Mike McGlinchey, neither one are any good. Yeah. Matthew Stafford. I think he probably, the little I know about Matthew Stafford and the Lions, that's probably how much he knows about Mike McGlinchey and the Niners. And maybe he likes the idea of coming and playing for Kyle Shanahan and throwing to George Kittle and Deebo Samuel. But, dude, are you going to even have time? Are you going to make it through the season? Because he ended this season with a broken ribs or whatever. He ended the previous season with broken something else and missed 8. He seems to be breaking stuff. And if a quarterback was going to break something anywhere, it'd be behind this sieve of an offensive line. So you trade away Matthew Stafford. You trade for Stafford, you trade away the 12th pick. How do you improve the offensive line? Well, I keep coming back to my ace up my sleeve, which is trade Bosa. If you trade Bosa, you could trade him to maybe the Jets for the number 2 pick. With the number 2 pick, you could trade down because someone's going to want to trade up for a quarterback. And now you could get 2 picks for Bosa. Maybe number 4 and something else. Number 5 and something else. And you can get Penei Sewell, who's like a better offensive tackle prospect than even Trent Williams was. And now you have Trent Williams and Sewell on the same team. And with the other pick that you got by moving down, you could get an edge rusher who's not as good as Nick Bosa, but he's still really good. And now you've turned Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa has solved 2 of your problems. And now you can protect Matthew Stafford. You have the 2 best offensive tackles in the league and an excellent first-round pick at defensive end as well. That you're adding to a defense that ranked top 5 last season without Bosa. Why not? See, that's to me is the ace in the hole. Bosa's great, but the defense was top 5 without him. You could get a whole lot of stuff. You could get like 4 offensive linemen for Nick Bosa. You could fix the whole offensive line. Trading Nick, why not? At least consider it. So how do we keep Stafford upright? Turn Nick Bosa into an offensive lineman. Turn Nick Bosa into Penei Sewell. Sewell has maybe an even better chance to become a Hall of Famer one day because Sewell doesn't have 2 torn ACLs, does he? Sewell's probably going to be playing when he's 40 or 38. Will Bosa? I don't know. That's what I would do. But that's, how I am. You know how I be. I can answer some more questions if you have them. Otherwise, I'm going to go get some lunch and then come back with Anthony Jan a little later, talk about some coaching tactics. Grant, stop. Boo. What? Huh? Stafford ain't elite. Hey, man, I'm telling you I would go for Rodgers. I'm saying Niners, don't be hasty. You have a hasty. Don't be extra hasty. Wait for Rodgers. But it seems like they're going to go for Stafford. So see what happens. How's Lowell? Hold on, let's talk. I took him in for an MRI this morning. Every time he has to sit down, he is in excruciating pain. And it's hard to hear. It's hard to hear someone you love be out of their mind in pain. When he's laying flat, when he's standing up, he's good. So, it just felt so bad. All the doctors were saying just wait it out. And then finally they were like, no, you need x-rays. You need to go to the hospital, but you got to wait until the end of you got to wait until next week. So he's just been laying on the ground waiting. X-rays revealed nothing. Okay, well, what's the next plan? MRI, let's wait for that. So we got that. I don't know. They're waiting around to see what they just, I don't know. I feel really bad. How do you have crippling pain? You can't move. And everyone's like, I don't know. Just wait it out. I don't know. You'll be all right. It's like, what do you mean? I'm stuck on the ground. Someone help me. So I was up at 5 a.m. We were in the imaging office at 6:30. I had him home by 7:30. And he might be still sleeping right now. I hope he's sleeping because otherwise he's just looking at the ceiling. That's my dad's life. And he was telling me this morning, he says, very lonely when you're in pain, even when people are around you. I know what he means. It's like you can't even talk, think. You're out in the wilderness with your pain. Ooh, I felt bad, man. I hope they figure this out. God, if you had sciatica, I'd sympathize with you because this looks like the worst thing ever. It's the worst thing. Ugh. So I'll keep you posted. I don't know. MRI's good, though. At least I should have some answers. MRI's, better than nothing. Physical therapy, yeah, of course. He's just he's not exactly at the physical therapy level right now. He's at the I can't get off the ground level. So when the swelling goes down and he can move around a little bit, yeah, he'll definitely do physical therapy. But, dude, He's at the, like, I want to vomit from pain if I'm doing anything but laying down on my back. Like, whoa. I've never been in anything like that. I broke my wrist once. I broke my wrist when I was 14. I was stealing home in Little League, and I was safe. But I broke my wrist sliding. I was so excited. That hurt, but not that bad. I mean, it was like really not that bad. Okay, hold on. Evan, I'm finding you. And then after that, well, Prisms, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And then East Bay Chris, why has there been no talk about the 49ers acquiring Kirk Cousins? That's Kyle's boy right there. I know, but I think the fan base would riot. I don't think he's that much of Kyle's boy. Again, if you came here for the Cohn phone, I moved it to Saturday mornings. It's now Saturday morning. Hold on, I'm still looking for dude. Evan, I'm looking for you. You left it at 11:46. There you are. All right. Who do you think we should have under center next year? Aaron Rodgers. To me, it's like, look, the answer should be Rodgers or Watson. Rodgers, you give him the extension. Watson might be a one-year rental because he gets really expensive after that. But really, you can deal with that down the line. In 2021, if you have Watson, you win the Super Bowl. In 2021, if you have Rodgers, you win the Super Bowl. That's the goal, to win the Super Bowl next year. So getting Stafford, that's great. Nice. What does that accomplish? What does that guarantee you? Not a nair nutta. Not a nutta. Not a nair nutta. So I'm just saying, I think it should be Rodgers or Watson. Watson gets a little complicated because of how expensive he is, but for a one-year rental, you can worry about him getting expensive down, and you can trade him again if it comes to it. But he's just better than Stafford. Rodgers is better than Stafford. I don't know that there is a team that you can put around Stafford that's going to be a Super Bowl winner, as long as the Chiefs exist, the Bucks exist, Aaron Rodgers exists, Deshaun Watson exists. I just don't know. I mean, it'll be more exciting. The offense will be more fun to watch, more fun to coach for Kyle Shanahan. It'll be a new player to be excited about and be interested in, but I don't know if ultimately it's going to lead to a Super Bowl win. Even Vish, who's the #1 Matthew Stafford advocate, and has been saying the Niners should get him for years. I mean, not years, but basically, has always said, look, I'm not saying the Niners would win a Super Bowl with Stafford. I'm not saying that. He'd win an MVP. He might take him to a Super Bowl, but I'm not saying they'd win a Super Bowl with Stafford. And I agree with him. I'm not saying they won't, but it's far from a certainty. That guy has a lot to prove in any system with any amount of weapons. So if they can get Rodgers or Watson, that's probably preferable, considering you're giving up a haul one way or another. Multiple firsts. Question, man. Good question. Man. Should we go to lunch? Should we go get some lunch and reconvene in the afternoon? Why don't we get some lunch? Go get a little lunch. Maybe a soup and a salad. Maybe something sensible, a little hummus, something, you want to go a little heavier at dinner. Something like that. Okay, I'm going to go get lunch. I'll be back. See you at 3. Thanks for watching. Let's see what happens with this Matthew Stafford stuff. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Wow, breaking news. See you guys.